Welcome to this week's episode of the Untold Podcast. I am going to be, again, as usual, Chris.
And I am going to be Ash again.
Today we have got Dan Gainsford. Now, first of all, nobody's probably going to know you are, Dan. I don't mean that in a rude way, but it's quite a selective crew that you work with, isn't it?
Yep.
Dan runs something called The Way of the Viking. In your own words, how do you explain The Way of the Viking?
So Way of the Viking, it's a men's mental and physical fitness program. So it's got an affiliation with Scandinavia for various reasons. So we get out doing all sorts of things in nature, doing cold water challenges. We get in the gym, we do hikes, we do challenges, lots of military challenges and things as well. But the reason behind me starting it all was basically to create a space where men felt not just comfortable to talk, but in a situation where they wanted to come and work on their mental fitness, but from a position of strength. So if I go right back to the start, one of my best friends sadly lost in June 2020 to suicide. And for me, there's a big component of that when you look at, we all know the statistics around suicide, as men, 75% of suicides are male, etc. But the big one that people don't often talk about is that 2/3 of those suicides are men that have had no intervention, no mental health intervention, not reached out to anyone, not done anything. So my idea was to try and create something where people want to be part of it, and we kind of get those people before there is an issue. So just to create a culture change where men are happy to talk about whatever's going on in life, their issues, before it becomes an issue, basically. So I wanted to have a program whereby it was all built around Viking and strength, and you want to go and do it because you want to feel better in life generally, and the mental fitness is just a component of it all, alongside the physical fitness and the challenges and everything else that we do. It kind of brings it all together and create that community where everyone's supporting each other, but pulling each other along, dragging each other along, pushing each other. But at the same time, in the backdrop, it's an opportunity for us to reflect and actually work on our mental fitness and have conversations, courageous conversations.
Do you know what I find really interesting about doing this podcast? Is the fact that you don't realise how many people are actually trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
Like, we've had so many people in here recently that genuinely you can see when they're talking, they're actually trying to make a massive difference, not just to their own lives, but other people as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think it's amazing. I never even knew that there were so many groups out there that would help men. I know we've gone really down the man rabbit hole, haven't we, recently? Yeah. But obviously, we sit here as free men, so it's important that we talk about this. But I think it's fantastic what people are doing. Especially, I know somebody that is part of your Viking way, the way of the Viking, and he loves it. And I think he'll agree with me himself that he wasn't particularly fit and healthy, and probably not mentally very healthy either. And I even saw the change in him just being part of the group for a few months. So it obviously is working really well what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that it's important for the mental strength to be there in order to get the physical strength? Or do you think they work hand in hand together?
I think they work hand in hand together, absolutely. I think there's I think first things first, if you are struggling a little bit, life's always better when you feel physically fitter. So I think the first point is start doing the things that you can do to look after yourself physically, and that will normally work positively on your mental health and mental fitness as well. But then to get to certain levels, we're trying to build resilience, and when we train that mental strength, mental resilience, mental fitness, means you can get through more challenges physically, and you sort of feel more accustomed to sticking to routine, sticking to rhythm, actually building your own physical fitness, so that when you get to these challenges, you complete things and you feel better in life, because suddenly you think, I can cope with that. So if I can cope with that, I can cope with whatever else life's thrown at me. So I think they go hand in hand, and for each person, some people need the mental side of it. They're already quite comfortable with the physical. Some people are the other way around. They might be okay mentally, but when they start with the physical, it tends to really benefit their mental as well.
Okay, so take me, for example, because I reckon Chris is the same as this. I know that I need to be physically fitter. I need to be more agile. I need to lose some weight. But my mind always makes excuses for me not taking that first step.
Yeah.
What would you say? Because I would imagine there's a hell of a lot of people in exactly the same boat.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of my training is in behaviour change coaching, which is a lot of what we do in the program. And the key thing is, I don't know if you've ever heard of a book called Switch. It really explains it probably the best. It's the guy, we have, whoever you talk to, we've got two components of our brain. You've got like your primitive brain and your logical brain, or you can call it you might have heard of the chimp paradox, where there's like the inner chimp and your human brain. In Switch, they call it, has your elephant and your rider. So the elephant is like your emotional brain. So it's all your unconscious, it's things that you just do, but it's much, much, much stronger than the little boy riding the elephant, if you like. So if that wants to go somewhere, it's going to go there. Whatever you do, however much you try to pull it and put it in a direction you want to take it. So the key thing is getting that elephant on board with the little boy, if that makes sense. So if the little boy says, come on, there's a over there, there's a village we can take you to. It's got everything we want. It's perfect. It's like paradise over there. But the elephant's like, I don't know, I'm going to go over there. You've got to get him on board, because however much you say, come on, I know this is the way, I'm going to drag you this way because it's the best thing for us, the elephant will keep going the other way unless he suddenly goes, oh yeah, actually, that's a bit of me. If I get there, there's, I don't know what elephants like. What do elephants like?
Shit and water.
Yeah, exactly. There's a most beautiful muddy water path, whatever it might be, and there's food aplenty and everything you can have. If you do this, come with me and we can go together and we can make this happen. And that's kind of the critical thing, is about getting those things working together and getting that alignment. And sometimes we have to reflect to be able to do that. So we just carry on and we keep trying the same things. It doesn't work. We try it and it doesn't work. And we go, most men, I don't know if you're the same, go full guns, we'll go everything all at once, try and do it perfectly, as perfect as they can. And then it lasts a week or two and you're like, yeah, actually that's too hard. So it's trying to just build those small habits and gradually build it in. But by doing certain models where you know why you're doing it, that's the critical point. When you get your head in the right space, it's like, this is why I'm doing this. This is why it's important to me. Yeah. That's why I need to follow suit. So if I was like, why do you think you need to get fitter, for example? What's your purpose?
One of the big things is I lost my dad 6 weeks ago to a heart attack at 66. He was fit and healthy, but he'd spent his life, he'd gone from skinny to bigger and then skinny again, and they think that might be one of the reasons, because he put weight on and lost it. My reasoning is because what I've been through the last 6 to 8 weeks, I don't want my kids to go through earlier than they need to. So that is now my why. That is my why. And to be able to, James Ray come on and he said, I don't want to be fit. I don't want to do Hydrox, but I want to be able to sprint if I need to. Yeah. I want to be able to, and I just feel that I need to do more. But at the moment, my brain is making so many excuses not to do it that I'm not doing it. Yeah. And you look back, and if I'd have started a month ago, I'd be a month further forward. Instead, I'm just still sitting in the same spot. Yeah. And that's where I really struggle, because my brain, I don't know what we'll call it, like mental resilience to things is terrible. Terrible. Once I get going, then I'm all good. But again, right, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to buy new AirPods. I'm going to buy new trainers. I'm going to do this. Right, I'm warranted. Now I'm going to go to the gym. And then one thing will happen in my life, throw off that routine, and then I'm back to this and not doing anything. And that's where I am. Yeah, just being honest.
I think the way that we've grown up over the years, I think your body, your brain expects instant results, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's that instant gratification in yourself. Like you go up the gym, you want to walk away from the gym, go downstairs. I mean, I've done this myself. One session at the gym, and I go and look at myself in the mirror and look if I've got any bigger, and you haven't. Oh well, I'll go to the gym next week instead of tomorrow. We just expect the world that we live in. We just expect everything sort of instantly, don't we?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think that's certainly what holds me back. I just want instant results on certain things.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of that, the program is important for that, because you've got, if you're on your own, it's bloody hard to go out and kind of, when you do get those moments, motivation drops, because motivation it's never going to get you where you want, because it's temporary, right? It'll get you so far. You have to have that kind of constant rhythm, routine, knowing why you're doing it. So we have like daily tasks that are there. You have to tick off. It's like a bit of a competitive element to it as well. Tick them off. But you've also got your tribe mates, all the other Vikings that are there as well, who are kind of like, where are you? What's going on? Why are you not, you just kind of feel that obligation to keep going, even when you don't want to. And then you go, and then you find you kind of get through that period, and motivation starts to come back again as you start to continue it, and you can build. And then it's just those little dips. It's important to have people around you who are on the same journey as you and can sort of lift you a little bit when you feel a bit low. And again, that's the important bit about being able to talk as well. That's where most of us would just be like, we'll just take ourselves away and take ourselves away from everything. And actually, that's the time we nearly need to open up and say, I'm just struggling with this a bit. Can't seem to keep on it. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, you've had a lot going on. It's understandable that that's a tough thing to keep.
But I was like it beforehand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now I'm using it as an even bigger excuse not to do it. I'll do it next week. I'll start next week. Oh, yeah, but I'm going to Spain and this way. And then over Christmas, I'm in Spain for 3 weeks. But I'm like, I could get up early, drive to the beach and go for a nice walk down the beach. I could, but I won't. And this is all the things in my head. I'm like, I could do that, but I don't. I could do that, but I don't.
Yeah.
And it's starting to, I don't know whether it's a shift that's happening and it will come. Again, it's I've got to force myself to do it. Like when I'm at the gym, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
When I'm at a boxing class, I enjoy it. I'm sure if I came to one of your things, I'd enjoy it when I was there. It's that getting from the sofa to where you need, and that's where I'm stuck. I'm stuck in that. I'm just being honest with you, being honest with the listeners, because I feel it's important, because I'm sure I'm not the only one.
It's probably the dopamine hits you're getting off your phone every 30 seconds, mate. It's probably stopping you from doing it, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's a big part.
A big part of it.
I just want to throw in quickly, actually. Obviously, I mentioned about sort of men's mental health, and we've gone down that way, but you don't only do it for men either, do you? You've got a female side.
No, I've got a female program. So, Why the Vikings been going nearly 3 years, but I constantly was getting people asking for the female side of it. And so this year we launched Freya's Calling, which has been really successful as well. A lot in the same way, a lot of the same idea, but there's obviously some differences, some variation in terms of what the focus is on. And yes, it's really, really going well. And for me, it's, sometimes people say, you're a men's code or female. For me, it's, we need each other, it's kind of, it's not just men versus women and women versus, it's kind of, we need each other at the end of the day. It's kind of, and understanding how each other works is really important. So although they don't amalgamate very often, it's just good to have the understanding from both, that both are happening at the same time and both can kind of reflect on what the men are doing, and the men can understand what the female group's doing as well.
What would like a typical month be of the Way of the Viking? What sort of things would you get up to over a month? So
we have, we run in kind of 6-week official tours. If that makes sense. So within the 6 weeks, we start with the physical, so a testing session, that'll be in the gym. So just to see where you're at in terms of your physicality. Then we'll go in the sea afterwards, normally a cold dip. We have sauna there and stuff as well. It's kind of,
where's that? Is that right?
Lancing, we do that down near Lancing. Yeah. So it's right on the beach, the gym, and go straight into the sea.
There's anyone walking their dogs and I know on a Sunday, they know who it is now, Not naked though.
Not naked, not yet. We'll bring that in. So we go from there. So that's a Saturday normally in the gym, and then a Sunday we go for a hike early morning. And again, try to get around. A lot of guys have families. I've got 3 young kids myself, so I want to be out and back before they're up and about, not missing too much basically. So we go relatively early, get out and we go for a couple of hours, different destinations around the South Downs, and it's just a bit of both. Sometimes it's more of a challenge, physical challenge. Sometimes it's an opportunity for guys to just have a chat. It's much easier to talk when you're kind of walking rather than sitting face to face with people when you're kind of in that motion. It's much easier to have those sort of conversations. So everyone kind of uses it as they want to. And then a Monday morning and night, we have options of a hill-based session. So we go outside and do some sort of circuits on hills, and then we have these campfire chats, which are, call them campfire chats to keep the Viking theme, but they're actually via Zoom. So wherever you are, you can still jump on and we can have these chats. And normally we discuss like wins for the week, what's gone well, first of all, to get people's minds in the right place, that they're willing to sort of be open to chatting about various things. And then we have different models that we'll talk through as well, and different questions or just different things that we'll focus on. So we might look at our values or our pillars of success, all sorts of different things that we'll kind of work through. Again, to get back to really get clear on why, not just, I think that's why I want to do it, but getting really, really deep into why you're doing it. So it becomes, you really, really want to do it. There's a real definite reason why you're doing everything. So that's how we run. I mean,
has it helped you? How did you get into, obviously you said you did it but why the Way of the Viking? Now, there's another question. There's like a 2-ended question.
Yeah.
Where have we gone so wrong in society that we've moved so far away from the Viking way?
Yeah, true. I think it's about connection. That's the big thing. I mean, as life modernises, everyone's moving into our phones and we spend more time. We've actually lost that sort of connection, that ability to talk and just be at one with, it sounds a bit, but be out in nature, and actually all the things that we need. Life has raced forwards technologically, and we're still a few hundred years behind, going, Christ, what's going on here? I don't really, it's not what I'm expecting. So it's kind of trying to bring it back to that level of connection. And I mean, the way of the Viking is, for me, I've been going to Scandinavia. My wife's Swedish, been going there for 16, 17 years, a few times every year. And I just, from the moment I went, I just loved it. Loved everything about it. Loved the connection to nature. You're kind of out. There's always, every time you go, you're doing something quite cool. Like I was saying to you earlier, on Christmas Day, I'm out with my wife's brothers. We're in the sauna. You're straight in the frozen lake, which is a bit of a shock, wake shop on Christmas Day. But you're always like ice fishing, or you're in some wood burner hot tub and you're out in the snow, or in the summer you're out and swimming in lakes, and you're just always out and about kayaking. You can freedom to roam and all that sort of stuff, and camp wherever you like. So that's kind of big part of it for me. That's sort of where the Viking element of it came to. Also, they have things like fika, which is like a cultural thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They have all men, all groups, and everyone has this. It's basically like a tea break, but everyone will kind of have this thing, and they'll say, right, should we go for fika? Should we go for coffee? And it's coffee and a cake, basically, is what it is. But it's much more important to that. Even all the offices there, they have it, and everyone will sit, and it's an opportunity to actually just be face to face, have real connection and real conversations. Sometimes just fun, laughter, just banter, but sometimes you can have conversations. Yeah.
So, if you even suggested that in the UK, you just get laughed at. It's sad that it's like that, because actually, that'd be quite. We should do that. We should do that on a Tuesday. Just have coffee and cake.
Well,
we have a chat before we do anything else. Yeah. You never supply the cakes.
No. Well, you can bring the cakes.
But no, I like that. And it kind of just, from an outsider looking in it kind of just looks like you're just appreciating what you've got around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're making the best of your surroundings. Whereas we don't do that here, do we? It's we was having a conversation earlier on about the UK, and one of the main things that you can be confident will hopefully always be here is the beauty of the UK. It's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Yeah. But you forget about that because you're so wrapped up in everything you're doing all the time that you don't actually appreciate what's around you. So I quite like that.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of guys live on the South Downs around this sort of area, and a amount of them, at least half of them, are like, I've never been on the South Downs. I can't believe that. And then you're kind of up there and you're like, it is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's crazy, and I think it's really important. Like the way more we talk about this, the kids should be doing this more. Yeah. Because they are. I mean, when I was growing up, the internet was literally invented when I was sort of, I reckon, 12, 13. We didn't have this. Like they say that we're connected because we're connected by our phones, but that's not real. That's not. And especially with the way things are going with AI, I feel human connection is so important. So important. Absolutely. And what you're doing sounds really inviting to me. It really does. Because that camaraderie, it's like the military. I've got lots of military friends. Yeah. And growing up, that camaraderie, the banter between the lads was amazing. It taught me so much. A lot of kids growing up these days, they won't have that. No. Won't have that.
100%. And that's another big reason why we started it was because I played football all my life and played at lots of different levels, and a lot of my ex-teammates and lads I played against, when I started putting out my previous programs I was doing, behaviour change programs and coaching programs, they were reaching out. I just kept hearing the same things time and time again. It's kind of just sort of lost myself. I used to play football. I don't play football anymore. I don't really see mates that much. Everyone's got different lives. Everyone's busy. I kind of put everything into the kids, but I don't really know who I am anymore. I've sort of lost a sense of myself. And that was a huge component. When the thing that actually was the catalyst was me speaking to an ex-teammate of mine and him being in a place he was struggling a bit, and he was saying, I've got no identity, don't really know who I am. And I was like, this needs to start now. I can't wait. I don't even know what it is yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just need to start something right now and get people involved in it. So that was what I did. I literally started it, so just advertised it straight away. Said, this is what's happening. And about 3 or 4 guys said, yeah, Sam, I want to be involved in that. And it's just built from there. And I've kind of had to roll with it. From day one, I didn't really know what it was. I just used all my stuff in terms of professionally, but also just from general life, from being around change rooms and everything for all that time, and just put it into something. It's just evolved, and I have to keep trying different things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and it's all part of the
evolution, isn't it?
Exactly.
What did you do before this? What was your profession before this?
So I'm a personal trainer, so I was in strength and conditioning coach, and that's where I've been doing, and I still do it in the mornings before I into the Viking stuff and the Freya stuff. And so that's where I came from. But for me, it took me in all different directions. So I worked in, ran like a cardiac rehab program for 12 years in league with the NHS, and also worked in a mental health hospital for 12 years, running sessions there with people in the most acute phase of their mental health, which was really good for me because you're kind of getting to meet all people and you sort of recognise they could easily be from me or anyone else. It's just, it's just life's happened to them basically, and different things have happened and they've gone down a certain direction. And so it's really good to kind of get to understand the people beneath the diagnoses and everything else. So from that, I kind of recognise the importance with my clients from personal training, the importance of the brain, basically your mind. I think that's everything. And so I studied NLP and then studied behaviour change coaching and life coaching and various other components of things that are all around mindset basically. And mindset became number one for me. Yeah. And the benefit, the difference when you bring that involved with people in terms of the success rate of what they can achieve was massive. It's a huge difference from just people turning up in the gym and training with me. It was great. And they'd get some people would be brilliant, some people wouldn't. And that was the kind of thing, well, why are some people excelling? Some people do well for a spell and then they just go off the radar completely. Some people never get the hang of it, whatever you do. Why is this happening? And it was all about, for me, it all comes down to your mindset. So if I could tackle that and actually start making that an important component of it, then you start seeing the results, because people follow their motivation when they know why they're doing it and get their head in the right place for it all, basically.
I suppose with that sort of background, you've got quite good credibility to do what you're doing, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like, I must admit, I look at some people and I think to myself, actually, I look at what you're doing and I think it's amazing, but you're just like me.
Yeah.
You've not been down the route of mental health. You've not done this. You've not done that. And I kind of, in the past, I've looked at joining certain things and actually thought to myself, no, I'm not going to do that because I could do that myself. But was there a lot of red tape to go through and stuff to start something like this up, or did you find it fairly easy to get it all running?
No, really, just because it was never really meant as a business or anything. It just started as a purpose. I just started, and then as I've had to evolve all the time as I go through it. We do bring in, so in the last tour we've got a solution focused therapist that we bring in just to do a session with the guys, just because she can explain far better than I can about what's going on, the intricacies of the brain. And it sounds like a bit technical, but the guys loved it, the girls, because it's just like, although we spoke about stuff, just to go into that amount of depth and understand what the different components of the brain are doing at different points gives you a whole sudden understanding that really it's just an engine that you've got to kind of, if you're, I'm not mechanically minded at all, I'm terrible with a car, but if you were that way, or if and you can understand the engineering of it all, suddenly you can be like, okay, so when I'm doing that, this is happening. When that's happening, and it just gives you a bit more knowledge, and that knowledge enables you to recognise that you can change things basically, and you can take it in the direction you want to take it.
I suppose with like you said, the brain being an engine as well, it's important when you've got a decent engine, you give it decent fuel.
Yeah,
isn't
absolutely.
It?
Like,
I guess when you look at it that way, it does make total sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I better stop eating McDonald's.
For me, there was bits I never understood. The biggest thing I learned was just that you had that amount of time to change a thought. I always thought, whatever you're thinking, that's kind of who you are, and it might seem really simple now we talk about it, but actually you do have a moment where you can go, no, I don't want to go down that path. I've got I can actually take this differently. And so when you're there and you're at home, for example, and you're thinking, I could go to the gym, but everything in your body goes, I want comfort.
It's training the muscles. When I did mindset, the best thing I've ever done was a mindset course.
Yeah.
I was in a bad way and I phoned my mate's mum, I said, can you help me? She said, oh, funny you should say that. Actually, I'm doing a course tonight. And the weirdest thing in the world, we sat around this room with loads of people, like an introductory thing, and she'd give us a box of raisins. I said, put the raisin in your mouth and just let it, just forget everything and just feel the texture of the raisin. Like, weirdest thing in the world. But then she said, right, next time you're driving, actually look around at the surroundings around you. She said, take time to be present.
Yeah.
And then we do the exercises where you close your eyes and the thoughts are like clouds coming across. And I was like, this isn't. And after the program, I can now control my brain a lot better than I could before. Still needs a hell of a lot of work, but it went from not being able to control my thoughts to understanding my thoughts to being able to sit with them for a minute and then let them go.
Yeah.
And it's helped me massively in life, sleep, everything, because I know that it's only a thought.
Yeah, amazing.
And I think that very sounds like, what you guys do is train that brain in a...
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly how I want it to be. That people, this week I went to Seaford Rugby Club and had a bit of a talk with them, and they're kind of pioneering a movement in a way, because, as I said, I wanted to create a culture change where people want to work on them. We work on our physical fitness, or hopefully we work on our physical, and in clubs and things like that, we work on our physical fitness and we think about it all the time, and we think about, we should be doing a nutrition. But no one actually thinks about their mental fitness as a training regime, and it is a daily training regime. You know, we have gratitudes, but guys have to put in the thing. It can sound a bit woo woo, and everyone thinks, but it's training your brain. You're literally changing neural pathways to think positively about things rather than always going down a certain path, which could take you down a more negative path. So it's like literally, and I talk to guys all the time, you just got to do the reps. You've got to do the reps day in, day out, do the reps. Same as if you want to run a marathon, you can train for it. But once you get marathon fit, you won't stay marathon fit if you don't continue the training. It's the same with your brain. You get in a good place.
It's the same with learning, isn't it? Yeah. It's the same bit when you did NLP. That you've got to learn that.
Absolutely.
I know a little bit of that because my mum did it.
Yeah.
NLP and stuff like that, subconscious mind and things like that. And it's really interesting. It is actually really interesting that the brain is actually just a muscle.
Yeah.
And you could be thinking one way, but you can change that thought. And I think in today's society, even more than ever, that is very important.
I'd say that's one of the most important things at the minute, to be fair, because everybody seems so down and depressed about everything. The more depressed you feel every day, the more depressed you become. It's about pulling yourself out of that mindset, isn't it? And definitely forcing yourself to do something to take you out of that comfort zone.
Yeah, I always think it's like an algorithm. You know, you've got your algorithm, you go on Insta or whatever, and if you look at a video, you're going to get loads of those videos again. It's the same in your mind. You've got an opportunity. If you go there and you're like, yeah, I'm going to think about that, then it will take you down that rabbit hole of constantly thinking that way. Whereas if you spark it out of it, and it's a dopamine hit. If you practice gratitude and you write down just 3 things that you're grateful for, and it can be just things that, like you said, the weather could be seeing a nice tree, whatever it might be, or it could be something around grateful for your family or grateful for your past or grateful whatever it might be, but it just triggers different parts of your brain, and you can suddenly create a different neural pathway that makes you think more positively more often, basically.
It's amazing that sometimes you can say the same thing, like, oh, the weather's crap today. Or you can say, the weather's crap today. Do you know what I mean? It's a completely, it's the same sentence, but it's the energy you put behind it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm thinking in my head, because the brain's constantly going on it. And it's just like, thinking in my head, but then you can turn that around to, and if you try to do that and take the time to be present and think, hold on, it's not that bad. The weather might be bad today, but I'm still alive. I'm still doing it. I get to experience it. Tomorrow it'll be better. And I think that's really, to learn that and just to practice that, to try and turn everything negative in your head. Can I put a positive spin on it? That's helped me a lot. That has helped me a lot over the past couple of years.
You're saying about algorithm. There is something that pops up on my algorithm all the time. It's pretty much exactly that. Try not to moan about something for an entire week.
Yeah.
And it'll change your life. I got to about a day last week. Maybe even half a day. But it's so difficult, isn't it? But it is true, 100% true. I've got a question for you, because we've had quite a few people in talking about similar things. Most of the people that we've had in, they're quite spiritual. Are you a spiritual person at all?
I've become spiritual, I'd say. I'm not in any sort of religion or anything like that, but I kind of see it. If you're looking for performance, and you talk about growth mindsets and things like that, and so in a case where everything's happening for a reason, you talk like Ronaldo, probably from the greatest growth mindset there is, go in front of 80,000 people at Old Trafford, and he's not thinking about this game. He couldn't care less. He was thinking about Ronaldo, who's going to be the world's best player. So he would try a trick, mate, it'd go wrong, crowd booing him, didn't care, would just keep going. He's not afraid to fail at all. For me, I kind of see faith as a similar thing, but in life, if that makes sense. So it's that belief that this is just part of the process. Everything that's happening here, this is, however horrible, whatever's going on, this is just training me for whatever's going to happen later down the line. This is just part of the process. And so in that way, I kind of have a spiritual element, and I'm a big believer in connection and energy. I think everything, the world, life is energy, from a science perspective.
Frequency.
Yeah, exactly. Science, we talk about solar energy turns to kinetic energy, and everything kind of moves around. So that is energy, but I think there's an energy that we can't see that happens as well. But when my mum died in 2021, me and my sister were there, and my mum was obviously she's on a deathbed and everything, but my sister was asleep next to her, and she suddenly had this dream of my mum like running through this poppy field, which had been a photo we'd been looking at earlier, and then she woke up and went to my mum and sort of spoke to her and sort of says, all right, you can go. No, and it's like a connection that's kind of unspoken. It's kind of one of those things, and some people say that's just lucky how it goes, but there's too many things that happen like that where it's just there's some sort of unspoken connection that occurs. So.
Yeah, no, I believe in the frequencies and stuff, and not just with stuff like that. Like I was talking to someone this morning about this actually. I'm in a business like WhatsApp group. And I put a message in this morning saying, look, I'm struggling with purpose at the moment. Like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what makes me happy, but all I know is that I want to do something that makes me happy, blah, blah, blah. And he reached out to me, said, I know the feeling. And I'm like, yeah, but you're on your videos and stuff, your Instagram, your TikTok videos, you're doing really well. You're winning, you're doing this. He's like, yeah, but I don't feel like it. And it's amazing how you can put that front on that really high frequency, and that will attract high frequency. If you went on if you was on your TikTok lives, you're like, welcome to Chris's TikTok live. Today I'm going to sell you some collagen. And no one will buy it.
You'll be watching all of it.
Yeah. That's why your sales have gone down. But whereas you're all like, Chris, you're all like, right, collagen, best on the market, blah, blah, triple. Like, you'll get sales, and that's like a frequency, another frequency.
Definitely.
That if we put positive energy in, we're going to get positive energy back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's,
I must admit, I never used to be spiritual at all. That's the only reason I asked, to be fair, because the last couple of years I've changed my mindset completely. But I'm a massive manifestation person. I really believe if you genuinely think something's going to happen, and you can make it happen.
Yeah.
And I've always said, you always get back what you put out.
100%,
always.
You keep correcting me, don't you? It's not if the podcast is the best
when.
in the UK. It's when the podcast is the best in the
wall,
UK.
It's really important, isn't it? Energy. I was a similar thing. I remember being in the gym. I was chatting with a guy, and he'd sort of said, I've got this idea, and we were talking about it. I was like, well, go on. He was telling me more and more about it, and you could see him getting really excited about it. And a friend of ours walked in the gym at the same time, and he just knew without anything going on, didn't hear a conversation. God, what's going on in here? What's going on? I feel this energy.
Yeah.
And it is, you exude it entirely, don't you? When it's in that place, you sort of want to be around that sort of positive energy when it's there. And likewise, some people, when you're in that place and your energy is really low, people feel it. You can change a room, can't you, with your energy straight away? And that's why I think it's so important that you focus on yourself. So often as men, I think we think we have to put everything else first. We've got to put family first, work first. But actually, if you're in the best place you can be, everything else just works around you, because the energy you give off it means your kids get a better dad. You're at work, you're suddenly giving off more positivity, and it tends to be more productive. Everything kind of works better from us. But the natural thing is we go, just put me on the back burner for a minute. Let's go and get that done. But I had it recently. We went to Lapland for a retreat, which I was thinking about earlier. And I was away for 10 days because we did a Viking retreat, and then we did the Freyers retreat. And I came back, and it was really busy beforehand. I got back, and I was really busy, a bit disconnected from the family because I've been away for 10 days. And I was like, God, everything just got quite overwhelming. I'm sitting there thinking, Christ, and you start getting a bit low with it. And I thought, right, okay, what am I doing? I'm not doing the stuff that I'm telling everyone else to do. I'm not doing it. So let's just get right back to going full guns on getting me right again. I'm going to eat right, start getting my exercise in, start doing my gratitude, start journaling, do it, breath, whatever it takes. I'm going to go full guns again. And then a day later, I feel good. Yeah. 3 days later, I feel really good. So
but even a week later, though, you're doing this from a professional point.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult to stay and realise, like, you've got to be the best version of yourself so everybody around you can have the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said about sort of energy and you feeling low, I would imagine you see this a lot. If not, you experience it yourself. You're having a bad day, but you're accountable to the other lads in the group.
Yeah.
And then you meet up with each other, and the 5 people that are positive picks the 1 people that are feeling a little bit down, picks up their energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
I bet that's quite important.
Yeah, massively. And all sorts of just being around people that, we've had a number of businesses that have come, as a community, all sorts of things have kind of risen from that because you're around other guys that have done it and been there and confident that it can be done. So suddenly, if you're putting yourself around people who have never done it, you won't believe it's possible. So when you see guys that have managed to stay on top of their game fitness-wise and guys that are on top of their game business-wise, and you kind of get that feel from them and that understanding, it gives you belief as well. So yeah, absolutely. You can that's the whole point. You can lift each other up and take it from there. But I also think what you said earlier about where you said that you were struggling for purpose. And I think that is the most important thing that we can do. I mean, that's for me. I started putting some things out about what was going on in my life on social media and things like that. And that's why people started reaching out all the time, all ex-players, because it just gives license. Suddenly it gives license to people to go, actually, maybe it's all right for me to say something if, he's saying something, so I'll go and speak to him, see what happens. And everyone, I haven't met anyone yet, a guy yet who hasn't got some sort of struggles that are going on. But we think we've got to just hide it. Oh, yeah, everything's great. It's all good. But that is the most powerful thing you can do, is just to put it out and say, actually, it's not that good at the moment. I'll be all right. I've got to work on this, but it's not perfect. And that just gives everyone else that bit of license to go, actually, I'll go through that as well.
I can relate. It's relating with each other, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
We all have good days and we all have bad days. And I like to think, provided you're having more good days than bad days, then you're doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I think.
We all go, like we've said this before, haven't we? Every man that I've spoken to has gone through like what you're going through now. I'm a bit older than you. I know I don't look it, but obviously, I got to a point where I didn't feel like I had a purpose, and I think you get to a point in between 35 and 45 where your life completely flips upside down. One minute you're a young man, and the next minute, I hate to say it, but actually you're closer to the end than you are to the start.
Yeah.
And if you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve, or you've achieved more, or I think everything, one day you just wake up and you just think to yourself, like, what am I doing now?
Yeah.
I've got kids, I've got a wife, but is that what my purpose is? Am I here to do that, or am I here to do something like? And it's quite a strange feeling. So that's a little bit of an arm around you, mate. Really, to be fair, because I think every man does go through that. I don't know whether you, obviously, the men that you speak to on a daily basis, whether they all kind of come out of
absolutely
that sort of thing or not.
No, that's exactly it. I think, and you said around that age, age is a critical age. You kind of get to that 40. A lot of the time you've suppressed so much as well because you've just been doing whatever, and then you kind of get to a point you think, is this it? Is this what it's all about? And that is a critical point, really, and that's why we want to try and find your purpose at that point and see what it is without overly stressing about it. Because if you're going, I've got to find my purpose, well, just take action towards something. I mean, you're doing this now. It's kind of all these. This could be your purpose that's kicking it off. It's all these sorts of things. You take a small step in a direction, and that could be it. I
guess as well, it's like I'm a strong believer that you're an average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. And like that accountability, when you have a gym partner, you're more likely to go to the gym, and so are they, because you're holding each other accountable. With a podcast, like Chris has held me accountable when I was out in Spain and I couldn't be bothered to do anything. I've held him accountable when he's not been up for it. And we're sort of like, right, we've got to do this. If I was just trying to do this podcast on my own, we wouldn't have 44 episodes.
No,
do you know what I mean? We might have 4 sporadic. But because we're holding each other accountable for it, it's I think that's important. Accountability buddy kind of thing. Yeah,
I made it up.
No, it's from South Park.
It's from South Park. I liked it. That's kind of my mentality, to be fair.
It's from South Park. But no, I think what you're doing is incredible.
Thanks,
really,
mate.
I really do, and I'm quite interested in. I'm quite interested in.
No, I asked you this earlier on, obviously, like whether you charge for this or not. I think it's really important to mention that you do charge for it. Yeah. And I think it's also very important that you have to charge for it.
Yeah.
Because we've had a discussion, the amount of work that you put into it, from what I've had conversations with Chris. Yeah. The amount of work that you put into it is a hell of a lot of work. And it's so important that people are aware how much work goes into it. Yeah, this is pretty much a full-time job for you.
It is now, yeah. I mean, I didn't pay myself until recently, so everything was kind of just staying in the bank, so I could, for however I needed it for future. It's kind of, that's what I have to do in all my work. That's why I still do personal training. It's only recently I've got to the point where I have to start taking some money for it, because it's not going to grow anywhere or go anywhere if I don't. It has to be, if I want to serve as many people as I can, then I need to be able to give it my full attention. And all the time it's a hobby in the background. I can only take it so far. So that's kind of how it's evolving, and that's what it needs to do really moving forward. So
what are your hopes to go forward? What are your sort of aspirations within the next few years?
Well, my aim has always been to create that culture change, to make it where at all levels, from down to young children, particularly around men, because that's where it started, around boys, to actually become where they're in an environment where talking about just understanding your emotions and getting a bit understanding about your mindset becomes the norm, and actually something that people want to do, and then actually not doing it because they're desperate, because that's at that point it's tough, but there's lots of groups out there already that do that kind of can deal with, or people can go to and talk. But for the guys that don't realise that maybe that they're even struggling to some extent, guys that are just, I want it to get to a point where the culture is, I want to do this because I want to be the best version of myself, and I want to train myself. I want to train my mind in the same way that I train my body or train at work, whatever else it may be. So the aim is to kind of grow that, and we're trying to grow a community largely for people who don't have those communities anymore. We've got some ex-military guys, some guys who are ex-footballers, rugby players, etc. But I also think there's communities already established, which is my next point of attack really, where I want to go into sports clubs, things that are there already, where there's already men there working together, going through a lot of the physical stuff already together, but they're not doing any of the other side of it, the mindset work. A couple of guys that came into the program were ex-teammates of mine, and when they came in and we started talking about what's been going on, I didn't have a clue. I thought I was pretty close with them. I didn't have a clue what was going on with them. So I've sat in a change room and think we're all mates, and we are mates, you're teammates, but none of those conversations happen, and we could have been supporting each other in all sorts of ways had we known that. So I kind of want to create something that moves out to these places and becomes the norm, that these clubs have that as part of their training regime, that they're actually working on the mental fitness and connection between the players and everyone else there, supporters, wherever is there, everyone can benefit from it. So that's kind of the next point of attack, to try and create a culture change that way within communities as well. So
yeah. So what is it then? Is it you said about 6 weeks? Is it a 6-week program?
Yeah. So we have 6-week tours, but it's a subscription basis as well. So in between tours, we have kind of tours that aren't quite as intense, if that makes sense, but still keeping people accountable. Because what a lot of the guys, the feedback was, when I asked everyone originally, what have you done before? And they said, I've done this program. It was great. Did it for 10 weeks, 12 weeks. And then it finished. And it was like, and that's that sort of thing. I was like, and then I just went back to so I wanted to have something that we have something where you work hard, but then there's also a level of accountability always, because it's like we said earlier, it's all well and good to do something all intense for a period, but then to keep it up, that's where the resilience really comes in, and to actually learn that you have to keep these habits, and they have to become habits and keep it going. So yes, we have 6-week tours where we put the guys in different tribes. There's an element of competition to it as well. So you get points for the amount of tasks you complete, for attendance, things like that as well. As well as sometimes we just set them a task. Like one week it was how many you have a certain amount of points for doing a certain amount of press-ups or squats, wherever it might be, but everyone's kind of cheering each other to do certain things as well. So you've got that real team element to it as well. And it's a bit of friendly competition and a bit of banter that kind of goes on between it all as well. And that's kind of what the main 6 weeks are about. There's kind of a real 6-week tour where there's a bit of a competition to it. And then around that, you have a little break where it's just, you keep your own personal habits, keep them going, and there's still accountability. And then you go back next tour and it kind of changes up the structure a little bit, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So you don't just do one 6-week block and then you're sort of out the door. No. Not out the door. You do a 6-week block, and then could it be a choice? So I've done the 6-week block, and then I'm just going to go monthly and stay in the group, be accountable, turn up for the swims, turn up for this, turn up for that, and then you don't have to do the next 6-week block.
We normally get everyone in the tour anyway, because most of the stuff will be the same. So everyone, we say you come and they join in the tour, but sometimes we'll have, if someone I think it's gonna, sometimes people just need, they say I'm gonna have a really, this month I'm away for whatever it might be and I've got this, then it'll be like, okay, we just won't put you in a tribe for this one. You can just concentrate on you, but still just get and do as much as you can. So there's that sort of selection as well. But the 6 weeks is quite critical. So I think once everyone's in it, you're all in it, if that makes sense. And it makes it a bit more of a challenge for everyone, really.
And can anybody join at any time, or is it literally you have to join at the start of the 6 weeks and then wait till the next 6 weeks?
Yeah, it used to be. We've changed it, and that's a lot of the evolution. We used to have 10 weeks. We started off with 12-week tours, then we took it to 10-week tours, and then and we've sort of brought it down to 6 to make it more accessible. But now we've kind of got it where people can join at any point. they'd just be on a slightly different program because obviously the other guys' schedule is already set. So they can join it. They just kind of have a bit of a introductory program around it. So they still go to all the sessions, can join in everything. They're just kind of working on their own, the basics of it, the fundamentals, if that makes sense, until we can get into the next tour and then they're full guns into it. Because the big reason for that, there's guys that you kind of miss. You think they really want to do it. They've reached out and said, "Oh, can I join?" And say, "Yeah, well, next tour's not till." And it's,
we've just started one. You've got to wait 6 weeks, mate. Yeah. And
it's, if someone's had the courage to reach out, that's the time I want to get them in immediately and go, yeah, come on, let's go. And
6 weeks time, they might have lost that motivation.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Sitting back on the sofa worrying about everything again. Yeah,
No,
it's like the mindset thing. If my friend's mum wasn't doing that call that night, probably would never have done it.
No,
it was only that she was doing it that night. That I went and did it.
Yeah, it's just perfect timing. You're sort of ready to go. And
So do you have like do you have like a championship or anything like that? Is there any sort of award ceremony? Or anything
we
like
have so tribes. We have an MVV at the end of it, which is the most valuable Viking, who kind of gets the highest percentage completion and stuff like that on the in terms of the tasks. But also within the tribes, we have what we call it the Sacred Shoehorn Trophy, because it's a bit of an old story. When we started, the very first one, there was about 5 or 6 guys doing it. The first challenge that we did, we said, we're gonna do the full South Down Way, and we're just gonna wild camp it for 2 nights, and we're gonna try and do it in 3 days. And one of the guys who came out in the first one, we said, Pack, you got to take everything with you that you're going to take, but obviously be a bit sensible. And one of the guys, Danny, turned up with a shoehorn, like eggs, 6 boiled eggs in a thing, kind of a deck chair. He only got to the end of day 1, not surprisingly, because he had this bag that was like he brought his whole house with him. So ever since then, we've called it, that's the shoehorn. That's everyone's trying to win. The sacred shoehorn is what he brought on that trip. Right. And that's how we've always carried it on from there. It's just a bit of a old folklore tale of the early challenges, basically.
How much dedication would someone like me need to give to join? What's the 6-week tour? Yeah. You said Saturday morning, Sunday, Monday.
The obligation is for 2 of the sessions. Oh, okay. So to make 2 of the sessions, and then the others you can do makeup sessions. So if you can do your own thing as long as it's something equivalent to what we'd be doing. Yeah. So if you can't make a campfire chat, we get the guys to just send us a video of what their wins are for the week or whatever the question might be, just to give us a quick, so where they're still connecting with everyone if they're away or whatever it might be. And at the weekends, it's, if you can't make all of them, your aim is to try and make 2 of them if you can. Yeah. We do have a distanced option as well. So if someone is away for 6 weeks, then they've got an option that they can still be part of it all, but they obviously don't have an attendance because they can't make it way to travel.
That's wicked.
If only I had more time on my hands.
Mate, you've got more time than anybody. What are you up to, Chris? Just finishing the 17th episode of Jeremy Kyle. It was really good today, actually.
Stranger Things started this week. I haven't got up with that yet.
So 5 things simple things, because I think as humans, like I'll do it. We spoke about this earlier. We look at, oh no, we talk ourselves out of it because we set our goals too high. Yeah. So what's your top 5 things that you would say to someone to sort of start the Viking way that are simple, everyday things they can do to make themselves feel better mentally and physically?
I think the basic things, the things that we really focus on is just kind of step count, cold showers we had in, I know we spoke about it earlier, just at the end of your showers, and gratitude lists, things that I think are a really important, good place to start. But I think one of the biggest thing is also to get clear on your values. So we have a questionnaire, a document that goes out, and you can use it in different ways. It's just a series of 13 questions. Anyone can do it. It's a DiMartini questionnaire we use, and it tells you where your energy is going at the moment, where your priorities are. So for me, I found it really good when I first did it because it showed me where my values actually are, what are the 3 most important things. And I use it all the time in terms of my decision making as well. So for me, it was kind of my kids and my family were kind of number 1, which a lot of people will come up with. But then it's about traveling, adventure and experience, and then about personal growth. So I've had some good friends going away and they're going to Magaluf or something, and they're good mates, I love them to bits, but it's like I have the choice to make. Do I go there? Is it, and I always weigh up, is it going to affect any of those? If it affects all 3 of those positively, then I'm doing it. If it's affecting all 3 of them negatively, I'm not doing it. If it's like one of them bit positive for the others, then I have to kind of weigh it up. And so sometimes it'll be like, if I go to Benidorm, is it going to be positive for my family? Probably not. I'm probably going to be spending money. I'll be spending all that sort of stuff. So I use it for that. Another one of our guys, he was on it, and he did his values, and he found that his highest value came out as the pub. And that was a big eye-opener. He literally pretty much changed his life overnight on that. From when he'd written it all down, he'd never really thought about it before. He's a dad, he had his kids, and he came into it saying, I want to be, a role model to my kids. And he realised that the number one thing on his list was the pub. That's what came out massively above everything else. He's like, I don't want that. That's not what I want my values to be. So he immediately changed his life really after that. He suddenly went from being someone who couldn't run a bath to running 10Ks, built himself up to doing all sorts of events and stuff like that, to get himself to a position where he was actually a bit more of a role model that he wanted to be to his kids. So values, I think if you can get to that first of all, get really, really clear on what that is, then that would be a really good place to start from, in my perspective. And the other things are just kind of the general tasks, I would say, around your fitness, and make sure you're doing something daily. Connect with other people, find another group, whoever it might be. If it's a buddy, as you said, or someone that you can go, make sure there's someone else that can keep you accountable. I think that's really essential. And also having routine. We thrive in structure is freedom. We think freedom's being able to do whatever you want, and actually it's...
Yeah, I can vouch for that. I've got literally no structure at the moment, and it's terrible. Really bad, yeah.
Throws you all over the place, doesn't it? You
massively.
think, my anxiety goes mental if I haven't got some sort of... I'm like, I don't know,
yeah,
should
I'm
be doing
like
this.
a proper control freak. Like, I hate not being in control of things. Like, it really sends me. So that's why I sent him some invites today on the calendar. Like, I haven't got a calendar, so I've got to have a calendar, Chris.
I must admit, I thought, what's he sent me now? Just accept it. I'm not even looking at it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, what I want to talk about cold plunges and cold showers, because obviously that's big at the moment.
Yeah.
It's really big. Everybody's telling you to get up at 5 and do a cold plunge. What are your takes on it? Cold showers and cold plunges?
Well, I like, the reason I like cold showers and cold water immersion is, we were talking earlier about getting back to being present, and our minds are always kind of all over the place. And when you're having a cold shower or getting in cold water, it's kind of that, it just forces you to be present. All you can think about is, Christ, this is cold, let's go. And try and get yourself into that position where you're just trying to deal with that and breathe and get through it. So from a mental point of view, I think it's really important. I know for people who self-harm, things like this, one of the things they say to do to get that element of control back, actually going to get in a cold shower rather than before you start, if you can, before you self-harm, just try that first and see if it can just bring you back to slow your thoughts down, slow your processes down, so that you feel more present about life, and suddenly your thoughts that take you off a million miles an hour are back to being where they are. So I find it really good. I like it from a position of recovery as well. A lot of the guys we do after the gym, we go in the sea afterwards, and it's they feel better for it. But for me, it's really the mindset element of it. If you finish your shower with a bit of cold at the end, you've already achieved something for the day. It's like something, you're building resilience straight away because you've done it. You're like, I don't want to do it. No one likes it. I don't think even Wim Hof likes it when he talks about it. He says, I still hate the cold, but it's that thing of, I'm going to put myself in that position and I'm going to get through it. And once I've done that, I've achieved something already. So it's a really positive way to move forward from there. So yeah, I think as I told
What's
you.
the ample time, do you think? Like, so I went through a period of probably 4 or 5 weeks of doing every morning, I'll have a shower. Before I get out, I'll turn it to cold.
Yeah.
And now I'm a big wimp and I don't do it anymore. But what do you think is the ample amount of time? Because some people will spend 5 minutes in an ice bath.
Yeah.
From your experience, what's the right way to do it, or what's the way that it's going to actually benefit you?
I think it depends what your focus is. From a mental perspective, I think just doing it, if you're in there for 10 seconds or 10 minutes, doesn't really matter. It's the fact that you've done it and you've braved it. I always kind of set just for a minute. I aim for a minute and see if I can be in for that long. It's kind of enough that you get that initial shock, but then you kind of learn to breathe through it, get the control of it all, get control of the situation. Then you become accustomed to it and you realise it's not that bad, and you come through the other side. Yeah. And we actually, when after my friend died, we actually created a challenge, which was Cold Shower Challenge. Another friend of mine had an app which was called True Challenge, and it was basically something where you put a challenge in and everyone joins in, a bit like the Ice Bucket Challenge and that sort of thing. So we we said, I want to do something just to raise awareness for men's suicide and everything, all the statistics around it and everything else. And also a bit of a send off for my friend because he was in Spain and we were unable, it was COVID and all that sort of thing. You were unable to actually have a bit of a sense of something to kind of recognise him as well. Yeah. And in that we did Cold Shower Challenge. You had to go in for a minute and come back out. And that was part of the launch of the Vikings in some ways, because the first episode I just spoke a bit about suicide statistics and my friend. And then you had to nominate other people. And they, what happened was they started talking. And that was when you realise the power of that as well, that they were kind of, when they've got an opportunity to talk and they've shown it's the right to talk, men do actually want to open up and talk about things. It's given that opportunity. Sorry, I went a bit off a tangent, but the cold showers, a minute was on there, and when we spoke to the legal advisors from his team as well, they were like, a minute's fine because we don't want anyone dying of hypothermia on camera. It's probably not the best thing to happen, but yeah, I mean, and you can train your body to be in there as long as you want to, really, isn't it? It's everyone, you've got to build up to it like anything else.
So what do you do? Do you ice bath or do you cold shower? I
cold shower most days, but I go in the sea whenever I can. I prefer the sea or an ice bath if I can. I think it's much more, once you're in, and then you can sort of breathe through it. The shower keeps hitting different spots and it kind of shocks you differently every time. But so I prefer the full immersion if you can.
Yeah.
I lost a bet once and I had to go in Brighton Sea at 4:00 in the morning after a night out. And it was February.
Oh, brutal.
So I won't ever be doing cold water swims ever again after that night. It is very, very cold doing that. So I'll take me out after anybody that can do it, to be fair.
I bet. Does it get easier?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I was saying to you earlier, we for Christmas Day, you go in the sauna, and my brother-in-laws, they'd all cut a hole in the ice over in Sweden,
and they're just
you're straight, and you're in it.
Is there lots of whiskey involved?
Yeah, there's a lot of schnapps.
I'm in.
But yeah, first time I went in, I thought I was dying. I just couldn't get my breath for about a minute. I thought, oh, I'm actually dying here. This isn't not good.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then every year after I've done it, and because I do all the time now, I go in now. The last time I did it, it was actually the coldest winter we've had. It was over there. It was brutal. About minus 20 or something down there. Been in colder, but never in the cold sea for that. The cold river, cold lake.
What would the lake temperature be if it's?
Well, I don't know. It's about as cold as you can get to before freezing. So there's the cut block about that. Yeah, it's really. You go in and it's good as gold. I kind of went in and there's no problems
good
now.
As gold,
I actually really enjoy it.
We're getting out now.
Whereas it used to be, the first time was a battering. So it was brutal. So you can definitely train yourself to it without doubt.
I like how it's, because it takes me back now to when I done it. I've not done it for ages, but it was that mental strength, because you don't want to do it. You're all warm, you're in the shower, you're nice, but it's that mental strength of just turning that dial.
Yeah.
And the best times is when you just go for it and not do it slowly. I might start it again, you know?
Yeah, go for it.
I actually don't mind it. So I used to go skiing with my mates all the time, and as soon as I'd get off the ski run, if we didn't go and get drunk afterwards straight away, I'd go back to the apartment and fill the bath with water. And I'd just get in it. My mates thought I was mental, but it was only because I was so unfit that my legs, if I got up the following day, would be in absolute pieces.
Right.
So I actually don't mind it, and I do think that I honestly would have an ice bath at home if I could ice bath. Obviously, I've got a health condition that I can't do it, but even cold showering, you can tell just by having a cold shower how much benefit it does give you.
Yeah, definitely.
I reckon what we should do is we should get an ice bath. Bring it here, fill it up with water, let it get really cold, and then we'll do
and then I'll do it.
We'll do a live podcast with you in the ice bath. We'll do it for charity, and every minute you can do it for, I'll put some money towards charity.
Donate £1,000.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
How can people find the Way of the Viking? What's the best way to contact
probably
you?
for our website, www.wayoftheviking.com. So way-of-the-Viking, we could get, unfortunately, in terms of what was available. So wayoftheviking.com. Just go on there and send us a message from there. It's probably the best thing to.
We'll link it all. We'll link the website. We'll link your socials and stuff. We'll link it in the bio when this episode goes out. But no, I'd be interested to learn more about it, to be fair.
I think
we'll
that's Ash volunteering himself to come and do a cold water
Yeah,
swim
come and
one
get amongst
morning.
Well, we come down. We can come down. We can come down with the cameras, can't we, Chris? And we'll film
Yeah,
it.
mate, I'm happy to hold the camera.
If Dan will have us,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then we can talk to the men about it as well. We bring the mics down if you're up for it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
a little untold challenge.
God, you're throwing you right on the spot there, isn't What we're definitely coming. So you have no choice.
We can cut this out.
Nah, it'd be great to have you.
Dan seems like a nice
Yeah.
guy.
I've got one question. What sort of age group is it that you sort of cater for? Because I know there'll be people listening thinking, I might go and do that, but they might be a bit concerned about sort of age groups.
Our oldest guy, most senior guy, is 59, he's 60, and the youngest we've had, we had a couple of guys in their 20s. Normally, the majority are around sort of that late 30s to mid 50s. That's kind of the majority. But we have had guys at either end of it. I was really pleased actually to get a couple of younger guys come in and try it, because I think if I was their age, I would love to have done. I don't know if I would have done at the time, but looking back, I wish I'd had that around me, that sort of influence of all the other guys that have been through it all as well, and can kind of, life's pretty manic for them. They're in that younger stage of life and all going on, families starting, when everything's happening. And just to have sort of some older heads there that go, it's right, we've been through this, it's kind of, we know what you need to do. So that was really big for me to have a couple of guys that are younger on it as well. So it's open to any age group as far as I'm concerned. There's no limit on it. As long as you can move.
I like it. I like the.
I can
like
hear
the
your brain. You're going, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure if I want to do this. I really want to do this. You've gone back to what you said earlier on. Like you know you want to do something, but you don't want to do it.
No, maybe we'll get Christmas out of the way, because that's the thing now. It's Christmas. I'm here. I'll go tomorrow, and then I'm back. Then I'm back for 10 days, and I'm in Spain for 3 weeks.
Oh, nice.
So, going out to see my mum, and I might try it. She said the pool's 12 degrees. And the sea's 11.
That's not really classed as a cold water pub.
But that's not a cold water. But this is the thing, it's cold for me.
Cold
for me.
It's progress.
But my mum's like, you can't jump in because you might die. I'm like, I don't think I will at that, Mum. When people are doing 3.5 degrees in an ice bath with ice floating in it, I don't think your pool in Spain's going to be. But yeah, no. Well, Dan, thank you so much. Mate,
thanks so much for having me.
The time to come on.
Yeah, really appreciate your time, mate.
I appreciate yours. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to get hold of Dan, obviously we'll add all the links into. Well, I'll say Ash will put all the links into the bottom of the episode, so you can get hold of him. I've been Chris,
and I've been Ash.
I've been Dan.
And that's been another episode of the Untold Podcast. I'll do this bit, Chris, because you still haven't learned the number. If you want to get in touch with us, drop us funny videos, dilemmas, or if you want to be a guest. Last week's episode was with a listener. 07511 272 459. Send us stuff. We'll read it online. We'll see you next week for not the Christmas one. Not the Christmas one yet.
No.
We'll see you next week. We're not sure what it is yet.
No, I think it is the Christmas one.